Welcome back to Black Belt Lifestyle. We're here with the legend, Royce Gracie. Royce, what's the origin of you and your family teaching, basically, let me describe it as the Bushido code, the lifestyle, and the whole essence of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu? Where did that come from?
My father, Uncle Carlos, is living a healthy life, mentally and physically. So they're the ones that create all that.
I've heard stories.
They learned the art of Jiu-Jitsu from the Japanese, but this whole mental is all Uncle Carlos and my father.
I've heard stories that your Uncle Carlos was so bright that he could talk anybody into anything.
Pretty much.
And
the mind power.
The mind power that he had. So
make
tell
you
me
believe.
The Bushido code: honor, honesty, respect, rectitude, loyalty, courage, bravery. I mean, it's such a wonderful thing to teach, and I don't think a lot of people understand that that's what your family teaches.
It's a lifestyle. Again, it's not just people think it's just on the mat learning jiu-jitsu as a martial art. It goes beyond the mat. Do I drink? Nope, never drink, never smoke. So don't really go out party and nope. Live a full-time professional athlete life. So it's not just on the mat. People ask me all the time, how many hours do you train? I consider sleeping and eating part of my training. So I can lift weights and run and train martial arts and boxing and jiu-jitsu and judo and all day long. But then I go eat junk food, go get drunk on the weekend, go get high. It's like, nope, that doesn't exist.
Not something that you were ever interested in, and it's just wonderful that that's what your family.
But that's what I learned from my father, from Horion. You see, from my family. So
I remember one time it was your dad's 89th birthday, and I knew his interest in healthy eating, his interest in fresh fruits and vegetables. So I sent him a fruit basket, and it was it was from Harry and David's, and they, unbeknownst to me, they had put some chocolates in it. Luckily, it got intercepted, and those chocolates got removed before it got presented to your dad. But I felt so embarrassed at the time. But I was lucky to get away and not have.
Because the store doesn't know, so they will mix everything.
Yeah.
They will put all the fruits in a bottle of wine. It's like, what?
Yeah. I know you love one of your biggest joys in life is busting my chops, and you used to always have. For those that don't know, I'm one of Royce's black belts, which is an honor for me. But I can remember he would always have me teach other people parts of the Bushido code, and he'd say, "Now tell them how you remember the eating and sleeping." So my little mnemonic was, well, I wake up in the morning after a good night's sleep. The first thing I do is I work on my hygiene. I wash up, cleanse myself. Then I get a little bit. Now I'm loosened up a little bit, so I get a little bit of exercise. Following the exercise, I try to have a good breakfast and apply good nutrition, and then I walk out of the house with a positive attitude. So that's my way of remembering it. And then obviously the third part of it is the Mushin, Zanshin, and Fudoshin. And tell us about that.
It's the state of mind that you have to have. So you cannot be over emotional. You see, so it's You got to be prepared at all times.
So balance, awareness,
and always alert. Always alert. So sometimes more for females, for instance, more than learning jiu-jitsu, more than learning a martial art, you have to have a sense of your surroundings. Most of the time you get caught by surprise. So not alert. See? So it's not, a lot of females ask me, well, if you have to teach me how many classes it will take for me to get proficient, it doesn't matter if I teach you, you become a black belt, but you walk around with your head down on the phone or distracted, not alert of your surroundings. So you have to be more alert of your surroundings than being a black belt.
So awareness. So self-defense starts with awareness, a clear mind, an empty mind, a prepared mind, and then an emotional balance. I heard one time, I don't remember who said it, but I think it was Hickson that said you have to walk around like you're Italian and talk with your hands and have your hands.
That was me.
Have your hands up in front of you at all times. And I know when I'm in church, I've trained myself not to pray in this manner,
Cross
but to
your
pray
fingers.
in this manner. Because if you're in this way, somebody can come up to you and lock your hands together. So I'm always trying to be aware, as you and your family have taught me. And I know what you're talking about, they've taken prisoners and they've shown them videos of different people, they've shown rapists videos of different women, and they've said, well, which woman would you select? And they all select the same woman. It has nothing to do with size, nothing to do with provocative dress or anything. It's awareness. And they've done the same thing with men. Which one would you mug? And they all picked the same guy.
They can see the weak.
The weak, the lamb. They look for the lamb.
They can see the one that distracted, they're scared and timid, let's say.
People, they don't realize the self-defense aspects and how there's been like a split with Gracie and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And people always ask me, and I say, well, look, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for those of you that know the techniques, when you're doing the triangle, you're always concerned with the arm that's inside the triangle and bringing it to the opposite side so you can do the choke. But in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, you're more concerned with the outside arm, because that's the arm that can strike you and hit you. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu rules, you can't strike if you're in a Jiu-Jitsu tournament, so they're always teaching you how to improve the choking aspect, which actually is really a strangulation and not a choke. That word's used inappropriately. But talk to me about the stand-up self-defense aspect.
Martial art in general was made for you to defend yourself in a street fight situation, not to score a point. All martial arts. Tell me one martial art that was made to score a point. None. So what ruined martial art in general was point system, competition. What ruined karate? I'm talking all of them. Karate, point system. That was a couple Olympics ago. There was a guy that karate, one guy knocked the other one out. He got disqualified for knocking the opponent out. Hit too hard. The guy who got knocked out won the match. What a shame. Karate was not made for that. Karate was made to knock you out, not to score a point. Same thing with Jiu-Jitsu. The Jiu-Jitsu my father learned, my uncle Carlos and the uncles learned, and the ones that they teach, it was self-defense.
I remember when I first met your dad, I was working out a lot more muscular than I am now. It was maybe 30 years ago. And your dad said, you're too muscular to learn jiu-jitsu. And he didn't mean that exactly, but what he meant was that
You're too strong.
You shouldn't use strength. If you're
Yep.
using strength, you're not doing jiu-jitsu, is one of the things I remember you saying and your brother saying. And
You gotta rely on the technique because you're always gonna find somebody stronger and faster than you. So if you rely on speed, those are personal qualities. If you rely on speed to do the move, you're doing it wrong. You rely on strength, you're doing it wrong. You gotta know what you're doing. If you have strength, if you have speed, it's better. But don't rely on those.
I've been around. I think one of the joys that I've witnessed you take home is in particular when you've prepared a woman for our world today and made her feel confident that she has the knowledge, the wherewithal, the skills.
Not just a woman, but men, kids.
Kids.
I run into a lot of kids who is shy and zero confidence.
Talking about that, you have taken a lot of pride and joy out of developing anti-bullying programs, let's call them rape-safe programs and treatment programs, and just help. You take a lot of joy out of helping people in general, and I don't think a lot of people see that side of you or your family, because there's a lot of your family members that have contributed so much to. Tell us about the new school and your international headquarters that you're developing, and what that's going to be like. What's your vision for that?
We're building one right now in Sarasota, so hopefully we'll be ready in about a year to a year and a half, and we'll have kids class, adults class, and again, it's beyond martial art, because my sons don't drink, don't smoke. We serve as example.
Once again, going back to what St. Francis told his followers, basically lead by example. And I know that you particularly enjoy also training law enforcement and the military.
For them, it's not just like a teaching them how to defend themselves, but how to arrest a suspect without hurting the suspect. It's not teaching them how to fight and beat up somebody, but how can I control the situation without the guy's just drunk, resisting arrest. So I gotta arrest him without hurting him, and that's when jiu-jitsu works like a beauty.
I've seen you teach some of those techniques, which are really not in any curriculum, and those techniques only get taught to law enforcement. How did you develop those techniques? Because they're amazing. When I see them,
I didn't develop. That was my father and Horion. They're the ones that developed.
It's amazing.
Horion changed a lot of the stuff from the normal jiu-jitsu into for the cops. I just follow their footsteps.
Now, when you say the cops, am I right in saying that you're actually a cop?
In Pocatello, Idaho, yes.
Amazing, man. And you've also been an instructor in the military, different special forces, and tell us about, if you can, I don't know what you can and you can't, so I don't mean to get into an area that maybe might be confidential, but I know that I wouldn't say shy, but none of your family is, brags about what they can do, and sometimes people don't even know who they have amongst them. And I know of a story that you went to visit one of your sons who's in the Army, and I know the story is your son was doing some training, and he asked the instructor, "Listen, my father's going to be around. Would you like to have my father come and train with us?" And the instructor's first response was, "Your father? Are you kidding me? He's going to get hurt." And then he looked down and saw the guy's name tag. Elaborate on that.
Well, once they find out who I am, the hotel, okay, fine. He's not going to get hurt. He's going to hurt people.
And you actually got invited to lead the class. What I heard was the instructor looked down and saw the last name on your son's uniform, Gracie, and he said, well, Gracie, he said, who's your father?
Related to the family? I was like, yep.
And he said, my father's Royce Gracie. Amazing. Well, thank you very much for being with us today for another episode of Black Belt Lifestyle. Until next time, be healthy out there.